Discover the power within you. Unleash your inner strength and find the courage to stand your ground. In a world that constantly challenges us, it's time to rise above and assert yourself. Embrace your authentic self and let your voice be heard. Watch now and empower yourself. You have to be tough as a damn boot to be good. Because life, in its unrelenting complexity, doesn't reward the fragile or the timid. It rewards those who stand their ground when the storm comes. Those who say no when no is what must be said. But saying no isn't easy. Not in a world that pressures you to conform, to bend, to yield. To say no and to mean it requires more than just resolve. It demands strength, a strength born of discipline, courage, and truth. To build that strength, you must first look within. You must wrestle with the shadows inside you, the anger, the fear, the temptation to retreat. There's a kind of malevolence in all of us, a potential for destruction. But here's the paradox. When that malevolence is integrated, when it is tamed and turned inward as discipline, it transforms into something else entirely. It becomes character. Strength of character isn't about being cruel or domineering. It's about being unshakable. It's the power to stand firm in your convictions when the world demands otherwise. It's the ability to look chaos in the eye and refuse to flinch. But here's the truth most ignore. You can't build this strength overnight. It's cultivated, like a tree growing its roots deep into the ground. And one of the ways you cultivate it is by embracing the unassailable power of truth. The truth is a weapon, not one to harm others, but one to protect yourself. When you tell the truth, you fortify your soul. You strip away the weakness that grows in the shadows of lies. And every time you choose truth, you stand a little taller, a little stronger. But truth, like strength, comes with a cost. It isolates you at times. When you refuse to compromise your integrity, you'll find that not everyone will applaud your courage. Some will turn away. Some will fight you. But that's the price of standing your ground. And it's a price worth paying. Because in those moments, when the noise of the crowd fades and you're left standing alone, you'll know something they don't. You'll know who you are. And that is where true strength lies. Not in overpowering others, but in mastering yourself. It's in having the courage to be hated for what you believe. In saying no when the world demands a yes. In standing firm even when the ground beneath you trembles. But here's the irony. When you master this strength, it ceases to feel like strength. It feels like peace. Peace isn't found in avoiding conflict. It's found in confronting it with integrity. It's the calm that comes from knowing you've done what is right no matter the cost. And that calm, it's unshakable. To stand your ground is to live with purpose. To say no when it matters is to affirm your worth. And to cultivate strength of character is to walk the path of truth. It's not an easy path, but it's the one worth taking. So, stand firm, be unshakable. And remember, the cost of strength is high, but the cost of weakness is higher. And so you take your place in the world, not just as a person, but as a decent person. Not just as someone who exists, but as someone who contributes. This isn't about fitting in or blindly obeying. It's about playing the game properly, the hierarchical game of life. Not with arrogance or deceit, but with integrity and courage. Stand up straight, shoulders back. Why? Because the world is an onslaught. It's a relentless storm of challenges and chaos. The tyranny of culture, the catastrophe of nature, and worst of all, your own damn malevolence and ignorance. All of it comes at you, unyielding, merciless. And on top of that, there's the future, an incredible, complicated, indeterminate force. It looms over you with its infinite possibilities. Its boundless potential for both triumph and tragedy. It's all there. The weight of it, the complexity, the pain. You can cringe away from it. You can let the fear consume you. Let the bitterness take root. You can fold under the pressure, become a victim of the onslaught and drown in cynicism. And no one would blame you. Because the pain, it's real. But here's the choice you face. Will you let it crush you? Or will you face it? Because there's another way. You can turn around and say, bring it on. Why? Because there's more to you than there is to the catastrophe. Within you lies a strength greater than the storms of life. A resilience born from responsibility. You don't cower because it's your duty to face it. To carry the burden. Not out of obligation, but out of choice. When you say, bring it on, you're not dismissing the pain or the chaos. You're acknowledging it, accepting it, and proving to yourself that you can endure. Because the truth is this, growth doesn't happen in retreat. Strength isn't born in comfort. Every step forward, every burden you carry, every battle you face, it shapes you. It transforms you. The world will never stop throwing challenges your way. Culture will remain tyrannical. Nature will stay unpredictable, and your own flaws will persist. But you are greater than all of it. So, stand tall. Meet the onslaught head on. And remember this, no matter how complex, how chaotic, or how catastrophic the world becomes, there is always more to you than there is to the catastrophe. This is what I discovered from looking at what I looked at. For 30 years, I turned my gaze toward the darkest things I could find, the places most people fear to tread, the truths they avoid, the horrors they bury. I stared into the abyss, not out of curiosity, but out of necessity. Because if you want to understand the human condition, you can't look away from the darkness. For 3 decades, I delved into the depths, into the suffering, the malevolence, the chaos. It wasn't pleasant, I won't pretend otherwise. In fact, it was excruciating. And during those years, I wasn't exactly the life of the party. Imagine being surrounded by darkness for so long. It leaves its mark. But I kept looking. I kept searching. Because I knew that in order to truly understand what it means to live, I had to confront what it means to suffer. I looked at the darkest things I could think of. Not just the horrors of the world, but the horrors within myself. The capacity for anger, for cruelty, for ignorance. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. When you confront the darkness, it confronts you back. It whispers doubts. It shows you things you'd rather not see. But here's the thing. When you choose to look, when you choose to see the darkness, something remarkable happens. It doesn't consume you. Instead, you begin to understand it. You see it for what it truly is. Not an all-powerful force, but a challenge to be overcome. And in that understanding, you find clarity. You find strength. Because it's only by confronting the darkest things that you can begin to appreciate the light. It's only by facing your own potential for malevolence that you can cultivate goodness. And here's the paradox. The deeper you go into the darkness, the brighter the light becomes when you finally see it. I learned this the hard way. For 30 years, looked at the worst humanity has to offer. I studied it, analyzed it, and, yes, even wrestled with it in myself. But in doing so, I discovered something profound. You are not defined by the darkness you face. You are defined by your willingness to face it. So don't shy away. Don't avert your gaze. Look into the darkest corners of existence, not to be consumed by them, but to conquer them. Because it's in those moments, when you confront the darkness head-on, that you begin to understand who you truly are. It's in those moments when you confront the darkness head-on that you begin to understand who you truly are. Not the surface-level self you show the world, not the identity shaped by comfort or routine, but the deeper self, the one forged in struggle, the one revealed in the fire of adversity. Because here's the paradox. When you face the darkness fully, when you stop running, stop flinching, stop pretending it's not there, you discover something extraordinary. At the darkest part, you find the brightest light. This light isn't something you stumble upon by accident. It's not handed to you. It's something you uncover, something you earn. But it's worth discovering. Not because the journey is easy, it's not. Not because the darkness is fair, it's cruel, relentless, and indifferent. But because the light you find in the depths of your suffering changes you. There will be terrible darkness in your life. You can count on that. It will come in waves of loss, failure, betrayal, and fear. It will make you cynical. It will tempt you to bitterness, to despair. And in those moments, it's easy to shrink away, to avert your gaze, to convince yourself there's nothing more to see. But maybe, just maybe, the reason the darkness seems so overwhelming is because you're not truly looking at it, not deeply enough. What if you brought everything you had to bear on it? Every ounce of courage, every shred of resilience, every fragment of hope? What if you refused to look away? If you did that, if you truly faced it, you'd discover something remarkable. You'd discover that there's more to you than there is to the horror. The darkness doesn't diminish you. It reveals you. It shows you what you're capable of when everything else is stripped away. And when you bring all of yourself to bear, when you confront the shadows with the full weight of your strength, you find a light that cannot be extinguished. That light isn't just hope. It's proof. Proof that you are greater than the sum of your fears. Proof that you are more resilient than the chaos around you. So don't shy away. Don't let the darkness break you. Face it fully. Look into it with everything you have, because in the end, the brightest light is always found in the darkest depths. But here's the thing. You don't get to that light by stumbling through life at half capacity. You don't find it by playing small, by holding back, by giving less than what you're capable of. And you just don't know what you're capable of when you're weighed down by cynicism, bitterness, resentment, and avoidance. All of those things, they're like chains around your ankles, dragging you down, making you weaker. They keep you playing at 60%. 60% is not good enough. Not for this life. Not for the battles you have to fight. Because the truth is, there's too much of what's bad in the world. Too much suffering. Too much chaos. Too much destruction. And 60%? It won't cut it. You need more. You need to bring 90%. No 95%. Better yet, you need to bring 100%. Because that's what it takes. To face the darkness. To conquer the chaos. To push back against everything that's wrong and carve out what's right. And here's the thing about 100%. It's not just about effort. It's about clarity. It's about bringing your best self to the table, your wisdom, your discipline, your courage. You can't hold anything back. Not if you want to stand tall in a world that's constantly trying to knock you down. The cynicism? Let it go. The bitterness? Drop it. The resentment? Burn it away. Because every ounce of negativity you carry is weight you can't afford. What if you brought your A game? What if you gave 100%? What if you looked at life and said, no matter how bad it gets, I'm going to give it everything I have? You don't know what you're capable of until you try, until you stop holding back, until you stop letting the world's darkness dictate your limits. The world needs your 100%, not just for the battles out there, but for the battles within. To conquer the shadows inside yourself, to bring light into the darkest depths, because there's too much at stake for anything less. So bring your A game. Bring everything you've got, not just to survive, but to thrive. Not just to face the darkness, but to become the light. Bringing your A game, giving 100%, isn't just about effort. It's about transformation. It's about stepping into the version of yourself that doesn't back down, doesn't give in, and doesn't make excuses. But here's the truth most people avoid. 100% isn't just about showing up when it's easy. It's about showing up when it's hard. When the weight of the world presses down on you. When every part of you wants to stop, to rest, to give less. Because life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your way: pain, failure, rejection. It will ask you, how much are you willing to give? And in those moments, most people settle. They give 60%, maybe 70% on a good day. But not you. You're not here to settle. You're here to discover what's possible when you give everything. What happens when you silence the doubts? When you let go of the bitterness, the cynicism, the resentment? When you bring clarity, focus, and strength to the table? You find that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. You find that the limits you thought existed were never real. Because when you give 100%, you don't just move through life, you break through it. You become a force that doesn't just endure the darkness, but transforms it. And here's the thing. The world doesn't need more people playing at 60%. It doesn't need more excuses, more avoidance, more mediocrity. The world needs people who are all in. People who stand tall even when the weight is unbearable. People who choose to bring light into the darkest places. And here's the secret. When you give 100%, it's not just for you. It's for the people who depend on you. The ones who look to you for strength, for hope, to courage. Your effort becomes a ripple of light that spreads far beyond what you can see. So bring your A game. Not tomorrow. Not someday, now. Because there's too much darkness in the world for anything less. And when you do, when you show up at 100%, you'll realize something extraordinary. The light within you is more powerful than any shadow you face. Give everything you have. Become everything you can be. And watch as the world transforms, not because it became easier, but because you became greater. It's time to stop. Drop what you're doing that's foolish. The things you know are wasting your time, stealing your energy and holding you back. You don't need someone to point it out. You already know. That's the first step, acknowledging it. Letting go of the distractions, the excuses, the habits that keep you stuck. And here's the second, picking an aim. Not just any aim, but one that's worthwhile. Choose an aim that matters, something that will make things better not just for the world, but for you. Because here's the truth, you are worth the effort. Act like you're worth something. Treat yourself like you matter, because you do. But you can't do it alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. People who celebrate your victories no matter how small, and remind you of your worth when you stumble. You need those people, the ones who lift you up, not pull you down. The ones who remind you of your potential and push you to aim higher. But here's the catch. You must choose them. You have to be brave enough to leave behind what isn't helping you. wise enough to seek out those who push you to be better. And when you pick an aim, a real meaningful aim, you'll start to change. You'll feel stronger, more capable, more alive. Because an aim worth pursuing doesn't just change your circumstances. It changes you. So stop wasting time on the things you know aren't helping. Start treating yourself like you're worth the effort. Because you are. And surround yourself with people who see your worth even when you forget it yourself. Drop the foolishness. Pick a worthwhile aim. Surround yourself with those who believe in your best, right? This is where it begins. You're not comparing yourself to someone else's accomplishments today. You're not measuring your worth against someone else's highlight reel. Because that path, it leads to jealousy, to bitterness, to resentment. Instead, you compare yourself to who you were yesterday, to your own journey, to the progress you've made, no matter how small, because that's how you grow. Not by chasing someone else's shadow, but by stepping into your own light. And then you aim higher. You pursue something meaningful not just for the sake of achievement, but because meaning is what gives life its weight, its purpose. And while you're at it, you do your best to tell the truth. The truth isn't always easy. It's not always comfortable, but it's the foundation of everything else. Because when you tell the truth, you build trust with others and with yourself, and then you see what happens. When you compare yourself to who you were yesterday, when you clean your house, when you aim for something meaningful, and when you tell the truth, you discover something extraordinary. You discover that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to outshine anyone else. All you need is to be better than the version of yourself that stood here yesterday. And when you do that day after day, step by step, you start to change. The bitterness fades. The jealousy dissolves. The chaos begins to clear. So don't look sideways at someone else's life. Look forward. Look inward. Compare yourself only to yourself. Put your house in order. Pursue what matters. Tell the truth. And then, see what happens. Who the hell are you? You think you're just some random speck in the universe? A product of chance and coincidence? You think your life is insignificant? You are a miracle! Not in some sentimental, sugar-coated way, but in the rawest, most profound sense imaginable. Think about it. Humanity has been around for thousands upon thousands of years. Every single one of your ancestors survived. Every single one of them fought, endured, adapted, and thrived through war, famine, disease, and chaos. And here you are, against all possible odds, in this world of hell, bitterness, tyranny, and malevolence, you exist. But the real question isn't just how you got here. It's what's inside you, because God only knows what's inside you. The capacity for consciousness, the ability to perceive, to understand, to imagine, the capacity to confront the chaos, the unknown, the infinite potential of existence. And more than that, the capacity to take that potential and turn it into something good. That's what's inside you. The power to create, to build, to heal, to transform. But here's the thing, this isn't automatic. It's not easy. That capacity inside you, its potential, nothing more, nothing less. It's up to you to bring it to life. And that's your responsibility, to take what you've been given, this improbable, miraculous gift of existence, and do something with it, to confront the malevolence, the bitterness, the tyranny, to stand tall in the face of the chaos, because the world doesn't need more people running from their potential. It needs people who are brave enough to confront it, to wrestle with it, to turn it into something that matters. So who are you? You're not just a product of the past. You're not just a bystander in the present. You are a creator of the future. Inside you is the capacity to shape chaos into order, to transform potential into reality, to take this world, this harsh, beautiful, challenging world, and make it better. So don't waste it. Don't underestimate what's inside you. You are here against all odds, in defiance of everything that tried to stop you, and you have the power to make it count. So now you know you're not here by accident. You're not a passive observer of life. Inside you is a capacity, a power so profound that even you may not fully understand it, but knowing isn't enough. The question now is, what will you do with it? Will you let the chaos overwhelm you? Will you let the bitterness, the fear, the malevolence seep in and paralyze you? Or will you stand? You see, the power within you isn't just there for you. It's there for the world, for the people who need you to rise, for the places in your life that are crying out for order, for strength, for courage. But don't think for a second that this journey will be easy. To awaken that power, to fully embrace who you are, you'll have to face the things you've avoided, the mistakes, the failures, the regrets. You'll have to stop running from the truth, You'll have to take responsibility not just for your successes, but for your failures. And when you do, you'll start to see something incredible. You'll see that the weight you've been carrying isn't meant to crush you. It's meant to strengthen you. Every challenge, every hardship, every moment of chaos, it's all been preparing you. And here's the beauty of it. As you rise, you'll find that your strength isn't just for you. It's for others. Your courage inspires courage. Your discipline creates stability. Your willingness to face the darkness becomes a light for those still trapped in it. This is who you are, not just a miracle of chance, but a force of purpose. A being capable of shaping the world, not by avoiding its problems, but by facing them head on. And the truth is, you've barely scratched the surface of what you're capable of. So take the next step. Confront the chaos. Embrace the responsibility. Awaken the power that's been inside you all along. The surface of what you're capable of. So take the next step. Confront the chaos. Embrace the responsibility. Awaken the power that's been inside you all along. Because the world needs you, not a half-hearted version of you, not a shadow of your potential. The world needs the real you, awake, aware, and unstoppable. You've come this far. You've confronted the darkness. You've looked inside yourself and seen what's possible. But here's the truth. This journey doesn't end here. Every step you've taken has prepared you for this moment, to take what you've learned, to take the strength you've uncovered, and bring it into the world. Because this isn't just about you. It's about the lives you'll touch, the chaos you'll confront, the light you'll bring to the people and places that need it most. So now it's up to you. Step forward. Face what's next with courage. Embrace the responsibility, the challenge, the opportunity to become the person you were meant to be.